Hello everyone! It's kind of crazy that the last time I did this Japanese language review was a year ago when I was in Japan, and this review is a year later after I came back from Japan, like 10 days ago. Time flies, it's kind of insane. Anyway, so much has happened that I've tried to do something a little bit concise because knowing me, I could make a 30-minute long video, and I don't think that's what you want, but I'm kind of expecting the video to be kind of long, so do grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever and get comfortably seated and we'll get started. Basically, there's going to be three parts to this video. In the first part, I'm going to talk about my Japanese learning before the trip. Then the three goals that I set myself during my Japan trip, which was again about 2 weeks ago. And then third part will be my sort of short-term goals or the next few weeks or few months after today, basically. So what's going to happen next? So, you know, I'm always honest on this channel. I don't lie. I don't have any incentive to. I don't feel the need to lie about anything. I'm always honest. And to be honest, I don't feel like I focused that much on Japanese, this year at least. But it doesn't mean that I didn't make any progress, just that I didn't make as much progress as I wish I had, but it is what it is. I did make some progress though, especially in the last 2 months. So to give a bit of context, my plan from now on is to go to Japan once a year. I don't know how long, I think it'll be between 15 days to 20 days. It'll depend on my finances as well, where I will go, because the more you travel around Japan, the more expensive it gets. In fact, for that trip, I went to Tokyo and I didn't break the bank per se, but definitely spend at least 200 more euros than I would have if I had just stayed in Osaka. It's not negligible, so I'm not sure, you know, it depends on the financial, what's the word? Not security, but like allowance, let's say, that I'll have. But yeah, that's my plan. And also I can't do more than once a year because I only have 30 days of holidays. I shouldn't say only because people are gonna say, well, you're lucky, you have 30 days, we don't have that much over here. Guys, just come live in France. What can I tell you? So before the trip, I decided to start a new Anki deck, and I've started like 3 or 4 since I've started this series of videos like 4 years ago. Not me starting to learn Japanese 4 years ago and still a beginner. Don't judge me, it's none of your business. So I felt like I needed to start a new deck because I was lacking a lot of vocab, and I was kind of browsing through Reddit, the Japanese language learning Japanese subgroup, can't remember, but I'll put a link. And people were talking about a 6K vocab deck, and I was like, that's interesting. And I kind of looked into it, and that looked really good. And I've been doing it for 3 months now, and I have to say I like it. I like the fact that for each word of vocab, there's the native audio. There's also an example sentence, which has native audio as well, a translation in English. Everything is transcribed in kana, so no romaji, which I like because I think it's important to get rid of romaji and move away from it as soon as possible when you're learning Japanese, because it doesn't really help. I feel like kana is more, I don't know, it just feels natural now because I'm so used to it. So romaji would be a no-no, I think, for me. And this deck is good because on top of teaching you in total 6K words, it also helps you learn kanji because all the words are written in kanji. And how to explain? So when I do a review, the first thing I see is the word in kanji, then I have to guess what it means, I have to pronounce it, and then I can establish, I guess, that the card is good, is learned, memorized, whatever. So it's good for that as well. So it's not just learning words, it's also practicing kanji, learning the pronunciation, learning new words, seeing the word in context. So it's quite a good deck. It's not perfect by any means. Sometimes I feel like it would be good if there were more examples, but it's a great start, I think. And the great thing about this deck is that progressively I've started seeing the words I've learned in the deck in the wild. So I felt like, yay, like I'm actually progressing, because I feel like progressively, little by little, I'm still sort of almost intermediate, but I feel like little by little I'm progressing, which is really motivating. I do try not to spend too much time on this deck because it can be pretty tiring. Sometimes the reviews can go up to 60, 80. So when they go up like crazy, I stop learning new words until they kind of like stop increasing too much. like a day or two sort of break from learning new words is enough, and then I learn new words, etc., etc. At the beginning, I was learning 20 new words a day, which is okay because at first there's a lot of words you know already. But then now I feel like maybe 10 words would be better. I'd rather learn words every day than doing 20, 20, 20, and then stop for 2 days or whatever. So that's something that you can sort of adapt depending on how much time you have. But great deck nonetheless. I'll try to see if I can find a link to the deck. So if you want to try it, then obviously you can. So now for the second part. Before I went to Japan, I decided that it would be fun to give myself some goals. So there's two, let's say, measurable goals, and one which is kind of like, I guess you'll have to trust me on that one. So my first goal was to meet my favorite Japanese singer. And this one, when I started writing the video, I realized that it should be really its own separate video. I'm working on a project which is kind of tied to meeting him in a way. I think this project is going to come out in about a month or two. It's my biggest project yet. It's huge, so much work. I've been working on it for 4 months. So yeah, it's going to be another video. It'll make sense why I do that when you watch the video and when the project comes out, hopefully. But anyway, so I did managed to chat with him because there was only about 20-30 people that attended his concert. It was a small venue. And I got to chat with him, and that was so cool. I've got some pictures that I took with him, and that was like so exciting. Obviously, I struggled, but I did manage to express myself, so yeah. So second goal was to sing a song at karaoke. So a Japanese song, of course, because I've sung plenty of English songs at karaokes. I've got a video for that, so you can listen to it, I think, now. Obviously, it's not perfect. It was hard to record and also look at the words. And they were in Romaji, not gonna lie. But I'm planning on learning songs like for real and being able to sing them following with the kana and kanji if needed. But I think maybe learning them off by heart. I think learning songs is really fun. I mean, I love singing, obviously, so for me that's going to be fun, but it's a great way to learn vocab and just kind of experience the culture, because music is art and art is culture. So I think it's a great way to experience the culture. So in the future, probably my next time in Japan will be to sing more songs in Japanese. But we'll see. And then my third goal, which is kind of hard to measure, was that I wanted to interact always in Japanese. So essentially the idea was to always start a conversation or interaction in Japanese, maybe for buying a book, asking for information, anything. I would always start in Japanese. If I didn't know the word, I would check with ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, by the way, is amazing. I know it's not perfect, it's still AI, it's not a human being and stuff, but it's pretty good. For example, I remember I ordered books online and I had to collect them, and I obviously didn't know how to say, hello, I'm here to pick up some books. So I just looked it up, said the sentence, then managed to communicate. So that was really cool. And I feel like I've learned quite a bit, and I made the effort of always speaking the language. And then with my friends, I would always ask them, for example, how do you say water with ice, for example? So they would teach me, and gradually I improved my vocab. Obviously, it's only holidays, there's so much you can do to practice. You're not living full-time in the country, so it's not the best way of immersing yourself, I guess, but it's pretty close. I mean, that's the best I can do anyway, so it's gonna have to do. And overall, I feel like I've improved quite a lot in Japanese. I understand a lot more when people speak to me. I mean, I understand maybe 20% if it's a really unknown situation. Not unknown, because I would understand even less. But I mean, if it's an interaction and I don't know all the words with the context and the reason why I'm talking with this person, all these things, I can kind of infer what they mean. So that's pretty cool. It was quite rare that a person spoke to me in Japanese and I couldn't understand at all what they were saying. Even if they use gesture, we always managed to understand each other, which was really cool. I mean, I'm going to give myself some credit and a sort of like confidence boost by saying that that's amazing. So that's really cool. I really enjoyed that. And I feel like at the end of the trip, I was even more motivated because, I don't know, it was just so cool to make even more experiences because of my Japanese skills, however small they are. I even was in a situation where my friend asked me to buy for her some patterns like fabric. And I went to a fabric shop and I was like, how the hell do you say fabric and pattern and all that stuff in Japanese? And I managed to go to a shop and ask like, do you have like this style, like Japanese style fabric, like whatever. And that was so cool, so random. So yeah, even my friends from like back home, they even pushed me to practice Japanese even more. So here we go. And now I guess let's move on to my future goals. So there's about 4. So first one is to continue my Anki deck. I don't know if I'll manage to learn the 6K words by next June, by my next trip. I think right now I'm about... Not sure. I want to say 800 words, considering that a lot of them I know already. Maybe 1,000, something like that. So if I could do 6K by next year, that would be amazing. But if I can do, let's say 4.5 or 5K, that'd be pretty good already. And I would feel like I'm at intermediate level in terms of vocab anyway. So that's my first goal. Then in Japan, I bought the manga Yotsubato. A lot of people recommended it because it's known to be kind of easy. I mean, not easy like N5, N4 level easy, but more like N3, and then some words are kind of easy, and it's kind of like easy situations, daily life situations. Although they do say that it's kind of casual, so it can kind of catch you off guard if you're not used to it. But I think I want to kind of get started reading stuff in Japanese, so I think it's a great place to start. I might do a video or something separate on how I read it, or maybe it'll be an update in a few weeks or months. I don't know. I do my updates depending on whether I've got things to talk about or not. So if I feel like I've got enough content, maybe there'll be another review, another update soon enough. But I do use ChatGPT, but that's going to be for maybe later. If you want to know, obviously let me know. So it's good to know what people are interested in. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. And if by next year I can do 5 or 6 volumes, read them, that'd be pretty good, I think. And third goal is to kind of keep on practicing grammar, kind of put that to the side for lack of time and stuff, but I'm going to go back to learning grammar. I don't think I'm going to do like actual grammar practice, like writing and stuff, but maybe just watching videos whenever I need it, or whenever I need to refresh my memory on the grammar point, or when I want to learn it, but I don't want to like do like any proper studying, I guess. I mean, I'm going to try because I feel like the grammar is more like you see it in context and it kind of clicks, but it's still useful to kind of like to have someone like a YouTuber, for example, explain to you the rules, and then you can sort of like understand it without necessarily nailing the grammar point straight away. But then you know enough that you can understand it when you see it. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm going to try to do. And then finally, I want to try to do more immersion in speaking. And I plan on trying to watch more content in Japanese, especially podcasts aimed at learners, because I already kind of watch films and series in Japanese, but you know, it's too hard for me to really benefit from it. But I want to try to listen to more podcasts. And I listened to a podcast the other day and I was like, I understand like quite a lot of words actually. I mean, I don't quite get the gist of everything, but I kind of know the topic of what they're talking about, which is like so cool. And like crazy thing is I feel like I understand a lot more Japanese than I did 3 months ago. And it's kind of crazy how your progress sometimes makes a big leap. Like it goes from here to there. And I don't know. I think it might be an impression. Maybe, I don't know. But sometimes you just wake up one day and wow, you're so much better at something. It's insane. And something else that I'd like to try, maybe not now, like now, but maybe in a few weeks, but that depends on my budget, is to try to do more conversation classes. I want to say maybe 1 a week would be a good start. Even if it's 45 minutes or something, or maybe twice a week. But it'd be nice, I think, to sort of like, I don't want to just learn words and then not put them into practice and not have an opportunity to use them. Same thing for, you know, learning grammar. So I think that's going to be my goals. We'll have an update whenever I feel like I've got anything you know, anything to share really. And don't forget to obviously subscribe. Sorry, that's the end of the video. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share it, why not? And I will see you in a future video. Bye.